Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting this Wednesday evening, May 7th, 2025. I now call this meeting to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag is just over here. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Recording secretary, please call the roll.
Of course. Chair Fields,
Present.
Vice Chair Witcher, Commissioner Chiappi, Commissioner Ocampo,
Here.
Commissioner Trapp, and Youth Commissioner Jolniker.
And we'll just note that we believe that Commissioner Trapp will be joining us a few minutes late, so we'll make a note when she arrives. And Youth Commissioner Jolniker is in the building and in fact now in chambers. Excellent. So with that, since we do still have a quorum, we can move forward. We'll first start with our consent calendar item, which is the Parks and Recreation Commission meeting from last month, the approval of the minutes. I was absent last month, so I will be abstaining from that vote. But Recording Secretary, please call, actually, I need a motion, excuse me. I'm out of practice. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from last month?
So moved.
And a second? Thank you. Now I'll say I'm going to abstain and please call the roll.
Alrighty. Vice Chair Witcher, Commissioner Ocampo, Commissioner Chiappi, Chair Fields,
Going to abstain.
and we do not have Commissioner Trapp in the room at the moment. So the motion passes 3-0.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Next, we will move on to general public comment. That is public comment for non-itemized issues. So we are holding meetings in person. If you are interested in speaking during public comment, please complete a request to speak form and submit it to the recording secretary. Members of the public wishing to comment on any item not appearing on the agenda may address the commission at this time. State law prevents us from taking any action on any matter not on the agenda. Your comments may be referred to staff for follow-up. Public comment is limited to a total of 15 minutes. However, an opportunity for additional public comment may be provided later in the agenda. Do we have any non-agendized public comments?
We do not have any.
Excellent. And I will also note that Commissioner Trapp has now joined us. Thank you so much for letting us know you'd be a little bit late, and we're glad. I'll say I'm glad you're here. Very good. So with that, no public comments. I will then close our public comment period. Okay, if you wish to, I'll just clarify for the audience. If you wish to speak on an issue that is not on the agenda, this is the time for you to speak. Just give us a moment while we clarify a question in the audience. Okay, so then I'm going to say, let's have our member of the public come and speak. You'll be limited to 3 minutes of public comment. You sure do.
Yes. So now we have Diane McLean coming up for general public comments.
Just 1 second. We're going to, okay. You get the countdown.
Okay. I can do that.
please.
Hi, I'm Diane McLean, and I'm here as a member of the Poplar Creek Women's Wednesday Golf Group. And I have a lot of questions because we all have a lot of questions every Wednesday morning. First, I want to thank you for bringing water to the golf course last summer. We were told you would bring it until the winter rains came, and then the wells would be fixed, and this summer they would water the golf course. And my question was, have the wells been fixed?
So right now we are here to listen to your public.
Oh, okay.
comments.
All right. So, okay. So, but that's a question I would like to pursue. The other thing is we don't, as you know, we don't have bathrooms and a restaurant. And it has not been easy on cold mornings for our group of, what do we have, like 55 old ladies show up in the cold and have to go to the bathroom in a smelly, cold outhouse. The new outhouse that's been put up there is slippery and kind of dangerous, and a workman fell, we understand, was taken by ambulance to a hospital. We have no place to sit and run our tournaments and just add our scorecards. And we miss that. And we've had that for a million years there. And I went today and looked at the sign that's out so that they're going to bring, that you're going to look at a way to bring a way for us to have food and snacks on the go. And we don't have that. And I just would like to, I guess, complain. As a resident of San Mateo and a life, I've been at that golf course since 1956. And that's a long time. And I know up in the hills of San Mateo, there are 4 beautiful country clubs that look down on that one municipal course that is falling apart. And that's my 2 cents.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the comment. Do we have any additional non-agendized public comments?
We do not.
Excellent. So with that, I will now close the public comment period for real this time. And I will also just remind everyone, if you have, it doesn't look like I see too many filled out public comment sheets. So if you would like to make comment on something that is on the agenda, you will need to fill out a comment card for that. With that, I will say, we will now move on to item number 2, the Poplar Creek Golf Course VIP membership program presentation and feedback. And we will be hearing a presentation from our golf services manager, Kevin Kobayashi, who is joining us this evening. And I will hand it over to him. Thank you.
Good evening, Parks and Rec commissioners, members of the public. My name is Kevin Kobayashi, and I am the Golf Services Manager, Poplar Creek. And I have been with the city for approximately 7.5 years. And I'm going to talk a little bit about our VIP program that we have at the golf course. So our VIP program started in July of 2021, so shortly after, about a year after the pandemic. And before the start of the program, we had a 61%, so that was a 4-year average, tee time utilization rate prior to our program. So I'm going to explain what utilization rate means and how it's calculated. I think it's extremely important to understand that because it really speaks to the golfer's behavior. So utilization rate is the percentage of players who actually pay for the tee times that they book. And so I'm going to get into a little bit about total rounds, which is a different calculation. So at the time prior to the program, on average for 4 years, we had about 61% of our players who booked tee times and actually showed up and paid for those tee times. The VIP program is a monthly recurring billing membership. It's a 30-day minimum requirement, so you can cancel anytime. It's not 6 months or a year. You can sign up for 1 month. If you don't like it, you can quit after 1 month. A lot of our members will sign up in the summertime and then cancel in the winter when the weather is not very favorable. We do have a lot of members that also will sign up for 6 or so months and then leave the country for a little while, and they'll cancel and then they'll rejoin when they come back. And the cost for the program is $29.99 a month. So some of the benefits of the program. It's a 14-day advanced reservation to book tea times. There's an early twilight and super twilight access. So twilight is generally speaking a time that is shortly after noon, and it allows you to play at a discounted rate because there's a possibility that you won't play all 18 holes. And a super twilight is usually a couple hours later in the afternoon and is an even deeper discounted rate because you're probably definitely not going to finish all 18 holes. So these members get an early access to those times. We do have a short game area that is a fee. It's $6 to access the short game area, and VIP members get access to that area without having to pay the fee. And then we also have driving range discounted cards. So we have range cards that have, if you purchase them for a dollar amount, you get an additional bonus on that range card, and that's available to our VIP members. So some of the statistics from the VIP program. So we have an average of about 250 members per month. That's in the winter months, we usually are somewhere around 300, and then we drop down to maybe 230 or 240 in the wintertime, depending on the type of weather that we're having during that time of the year. Because there is only a 30-day minimum, sometimes if the weather's not great, you can cancel for a month in December or January and then re-sign up in February. 34% of our members are city residents. And since the inception of this program, our 4-year average of tea time utilization rate is up to 77%. So that number, again, is the number of people who are booking tea times and actually showing up and paying for those tea times. So it is up from the previous 4 years. This program brings in an annual average revenue of about $90,000. And since this program has been in play, our total number of average annual rounds has been 80,000 or more. There was 1 year, 2 years ago, where there was a bit of an inclement weather season. I think we all remember that storm over New Year's. That year, our rounds dipped to just over 75,000, but every year since, with the exception of that year, have been over 80,000. And since the inception of this program, the golf course has returned money to the city's general fund every single year. So this is a display of what our current booking windows are. So for VIP members currently, for 14 days advanced reservations, VIP members currently get access to all of the available tee times on our tee sheet. Residents at 8 days in advance, they get access to all of the remaining tee times that are not booked by the VIP members. And then 7 days out, the non-residents, or what we call our guests, access to all of the remaining tee times that are not booked by the VIP members or the residents. And so I think there may be some questions about why we're thinking about making changes to this VIP program. We have received some feedback that the access for residents is not equitable, and they would prefer not to have to pay for a VIP membership in order to get the same booking window as the VIP members. So the proposed pilot program changes the booking windows a bit. So for VIP members, they would still get 14-day advance reservations, but they would only get access to 5 prime tee times per hour. And what a prime tee time, generally speaking, for golfers is anything before noon, so morning tee times. And then residents, their window would move from 8 days to 10 days. And there would be 3 prime tee times per hour that would be blocked. And they would only be allowed to be booked by residents during their window. And then 7 days out for non-residents, they would get access to all of the remaining tee times that aren't booked by the residents or the VIP members. So we would release those block tee times that we're reserving for members on day 7 back to the public. So the VIP members who weren't able to access them prior to the resident booking window would have access to them again, along with the rest of the general public. So we did put out a survey. The survey went out to, the invitation went out to 50 of our VIP members. 20 responded with wanting to participate, and 12 of them actually came back with feedback. And so these were the results from the survey. 100% of those surveyed were happy with the 14-day booking window. They weren't looking to change that. 100% were happy with the available inventory of tee times. 83% of them were okay with blocking specific times for residents. And 58% of them said that they would remain members of our VIP program if this proposed pilot program were to become permanent. And then all of them enjoyed the flexibility to secure tee times. I think a lot of them really enjoy the ability to plan out their weeks by being able to get access to tee times a little bit earlier than what most places allow you to book, which is usually 7 days. So the potential financial impact of this, just based on some of the numbers in the survey, plus what we see in our makeup of our members, is potentially a loss of between $30,000 and $40,000 in annual dues membership. And that's calculated based on 42% of the VIP members potentially leaving the program if they don't have the same access to our T-sheet inventory that they once had, or 34% of the residents leaving our program because they no longer need to be a member of the VIP program if we're specifically blocking tee times for them. And our proposed start date of the pilot program. So the current food and beverage operation right now is not in operation. We are doing some work in the building. And so to not further disrupt our golfers, we'd like to start this program when the facility reopens to the public. We'd like to run it for 6 months. The reason why we chose the 6-month span is we'd like to run the program over the course of a couple of seasons. It's possible that this will start in the wintertime when our utilization is the lowest. So if we run it for 6 months and the spring rolls around next season, we would have more data in order to make an informed decision on any changes. So we'd like to solicit feedback from the residents and VIP members during this pilot program, and then eventually come back and recommend any additional changes to the program. Can I request comments? From the commission?
So yeah, just that concludes
Yeah.
the presentation.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kevin, for your presentation. Now I will open public comment. So anyone who is here at the meeting who wishes to make a public comment on that item, the item we just heard, please, if you haven't, submit a public comment sheet, one of those yellow sheets, to the recording secretary. I imagine we do have public comments since I see a sheet or more in your hand, but please, if you haven't filled out a sheet and you wish to make a comment, now is the time. If you do not fill out a sheet, okay, seeing none. Very good. Then I will take, how many sheets do we have? Oh, see? Okay, so we have how many filled out?
At the moment, we have 2 filled out, and then we have 1 pending.
Excellent. All right. Well, given that, it sounds like we will have 2, maybe 3 public comments. I will ask, sir, if you in the audience are wishing to speak on this item, please fill out your form and turn it in at your earliest convenience. And let's put public comment at 3 minutes, and let's hear from the speakers.
We'll go ahead and start with Michael Sevilla, followed by Mike Love.
I'm gonna need more than 3 minutes. Well, I'm gonna get it through as much as I can. Mr. Banky, you may be correct when you told me that I have no friends in front of many of the Poplar Creek Golf Club members after a tournament, but I believe I have allies who want to end the 14-day reservation window for VIP members program, which is why I brought the petition I created, which contains 113 signatures, mostly San Mateo municipal golfers, about half are San Mateo residents. Mr. Banky, you also called me selfish over and over. It's true, I am selfish for the residents of San Mateo to access their municipal golf course without harassment. I guess if the management staff of San Mateo Muni could show me in the city charter and the municipal code where it deals with non-residents corrupting the reservation system, I would lose a main plank that I'm standing on. I would still be here asking, is this the way the city of San Mateo wants to treat vote casting residents? Mr. Banky informed me that he doesn't work for the residents of San Mateo. I will agree with that. He is not working for the residents of San Mateo. I feel empathy for golfers from other towns. We have seen many golf courses in the region closed, which has been made affordable golf in the area exceedingly difficult to attain. That is not the fault of San Mateo. The city of San Mateo should be lauded for building the municipal facility 90 years ago and for resisting calls to develop the condos and retail. I salute the city of San Mateo for remodeling the golf course in the 90s. Since then, the management staff has made many bad decisions. The change in the VIP program to include the 14-day reservation window where I had to draw the line. I'm not a lawyer, but I believe the San Mateo Municipal Golf Course is breaking the law by disregarding the city charter and municipal code. The petition signers and I are concerned the policy will open the city of San Mateo up to litigation. I have documented in emails and conversations with management staff for 3.5 years the way certain VIP members have subverted the reservation system to the detriment of all the rest of the golfing community, not just residents, and that needs to stop. I believe that if the 14-day reservation window for VIP members is ended, there would be no drop-off in the number of rounds played at San Mateo Muni. I believe it could actually increase, especially if we charge no-shows. If the management of San Mateo Muni were interested in listening to a resident, I have an excellent solution to the problem. The VIP members can keep their 14-day window for reservations, and the residents would probably be happy. I have a 14-day and 1-hour reservation window for resident card holders, or 14 days for resident cards and 8 days for VIPs. When I read the agenda report for this meeting, I see management staff trying to cover their asses.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Alrighty, up next, we have Mike Love, followed by Ed Knowles.
Hello, good evening. I just want to let you know that I've been using the VIP program since its inception. And if you go further back, in the original VIP program, it also included discounts in the restaurant, et cetera, which could not come to an agreement with the current restaurant leaseholder. But I can see, I am also a San Mateo resident, and I live like 3 minutes from the golf course. So I can see why there's a problem with resident people feeling shunned somewhat, to where if they want to get this preferential tee time, they have to pay in order to do that. The new program that Kevin's come up with, to me, is a very viable solution to try and appease everybody. You're never going to be able to make everybody happy. It's impossible to do that. So maybe we should give this program some real good thought, and at least it's something, at least somebody's coming back with something saying, here's what we're willing to change, and just see how it works. Go through the 6-month trial period, see what it works. And if it does, then we can implement it as a permanent solution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we have Ed Knowles, and our final speaker will be Diane McLean.
I'll wait for the Wait for the clock to start. Hi, I'm Ed Knowles, resident of San Mateo. I had a question, if I can ask to Kevin. You mentioned the program would start once the restaurant facility opens up and then run for 6 months. Can you tell us when that restaurant might be opening up?
So you can actually dialogue with staff, but
Okay.
we appreciate you posing the question and you can keep going with your comment.
No,
We heard the question and commission will have time to ask questions, so noted. But
okay.
you still have 2.5 more minutes if you'd like to say anything else.
Well, that was my question, so that I would like to get an answer on that. I guess then the second question would be to have you also address the maintenance and the conditions of the course, because as a couple of the other gentlemen have mentioned, we golf around the county, and unfortunately, in our opinion, the San Mateo Muni has got a very pristine location, but the course lacks a lot of the beauty and the upkeep, and it's just not in very good condition to other similar municipal courses. So I guess the second question would be is addressing when or will there be any maintenance to improve the conditions and bring them up to a higher level that is more, I'll say, more in keeping with the rest of the municipal golf courses. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our final speaker will be Diane McLean.
Questions that this gentleman just asked are precisely my questions. Hi, guys, I have my time, but it's not a question. If I were to join the VIP program, I would like to know what work is being done on the restaurant. I never, ever, ever see anybody working there every week. And I like communication, please. And when it's going to open, and are we going to water the fairways this year? So those are my two big questions. If I wanted to join, so I'll get back to the topic, the VIP club. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And is that our final, are we now done with
Yes, that was our final
speakers
speaker.
list? Excellent. So with that, I will close public comment and I will ask staff if there's anything they would like to say in response to any of the comments that were just made. Kevin, I saw you go for your microphone. Would you like to respond?
No, I am waiting to hear if you have any questions that I can answer for you.
Very good. I'm confident that the commission will have many questions. Joanne, do you?
Yeah, I just wanted to speak to the timeline associated to the repairs.
Okay.
The Public Works Department Facilities Division is managing that project, and we do not have a finite timeline associated to those repairs. But as soon as we have an update, we will be able to post it. It will be at least several more months. So as soon as we have more information, we will be certainly sending out emails and posting signage regarding that. As far as maintenance at the golf course, as on the fairways, there is a new golf course well project that will likely be coming forward for approval for construction to the city council in the month of June or July. So we anticipate that that will be moving forward, and that project, we've been working diligently with Public Works to get that project underway as well.
Thanks, Joanne. With that, I will bring it back to my fellow commissioners for questions and comments. Let's see, how about, let's start to my right. Commissioner Chiappi, any questions or comments?
Thank you, Chair Fields. I would like to thank Kevin for his presentation and also thank the members of the public for showing up and showing concern for the golf course. I have 2 questions and probably a comment. One question I have is about the budget impact. Kevin, you mentioned that the changes could potentially result in a loss of about 37,000. So I was wondering how that would impact the operations of the golf course, if any. And then my second question is relating to do you have any data to show the utilization rate for the San Mateo County residents specifically of the golf course? So the data you present seems to be the overall utilization rate, but do you have any specific data to show how frequently San Mateo County residents utilize the golf course? And then my comment is that on the whole, I think the solution that you propose is workable. I'm just concerned about not having a timeline on when to pilot this initiative. Thank you.
So I will address the first question, which is how will it impact operations if we have this loss of revenue? Is that correct? I don't know that it will impact operations if we have a loss of revenue. I think the decision that we need to make is the balancing act between revenue and covering our operating expenses and doing what's best for the residents of the city of San Mateo. I think that's what we want to balance. Thankfully, we've been busy enough over the last 4 to 5 years where $37,000 isn't going to put us in the negative. We have been covering our operating expenses by well over that amount. But we could be at a point where every dollar matters. But we haven't seen those types of numbers recently. We've been very, very healthy. I do have some numbers here that will explain kind of where our rounds numbers have been. But prior to the inception of this program, our annual rounds numbers were in the 60,000 range. So 60,000 paid customers. And then since the inception of this program, with the exception of that one inclement weather year, we've been over 80,000 rounds. So an additional 20,000 rounds have been played annually. And this particular year, if we were to replicate the same numbers from last May and June, we are on track to hit 82,356 rounds this year. And the second part of your question, with regards to utilization, are you asking about whether the San Mateo residents are at a higher utilization rate than everybody else?
Correct. Yeah, thanks.
So I could run the numbers and see, but I did preliminary just look at this last part of this year for residents, and they were at an 81% utilization rate. The VIP members and the guests were at 77 to 78%.
Any further questions? No? Okay. Vice Chair Witcher.
Thank you, Chair Fields. Kevin, thank you for the great presentation. It answered a number of questions that I came in prepared with. And members of the public, thank you so much for coming in and sharing your thoughts. They're incredibly important to us. Kevin, my own philosophy for an amazing resource like the golf course is that we should be maximizing resident usability and availability while financially breaking even. Is that the philosophy that staff and city council, in your perception, share?
It's hard to say, but I would tend to agree that my experience being here versus where I was previously, I worked for a corporation. I worked in golf management for American Golf for 13 years before I came here. And their philosophy was always, because we had shareholders that we had to answer to, was to make more money. And when we had successful programs, we kept doing them to make more money. And when I got here, I do believe that our philosophy as a whole, as a department, did change a bit to really servicing the members of the community while also still making some money, and what that balancing act was. Now, when I first got here, the golf course was not making money. It was actually losing money. And so some of the programs that were put into place and some of the changes that we made really created an environment where the golf course was now profitable. And so now we're here to try and balance the profitability of the golf course and the service to the community.
Great. If you would please indulge me with a few numbers.
Sure.
Going into the city's annual report. Is it correct? Did I read correctly that it's in the last fiscal year, it was a profit of roughly $110,000 on revenue of around 3.6 million? Does that sound correct?
Yeah, I'd have to double check
Okay.
those numbers.
Yeah, so that's about a 3% net margin, which in my experience in business, that's on the razor's edge. That could flip upside down and we could be losing money very easily on a thin margin like that. You said we were losing money before you arrived. Going back into some archives, we were losing, what, $400,000 a year 7 years ago? What changed between 7 years ago and basically what I consider break even today?
Sure. So I do want to address what you're saying about the razor thin margin, which I tend to agree with. And, referencing Commissioner Chiappi's response of how is it going to impact operations? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but when we're talking about 3% margin, every dollar counts. What's changed really has been a number of things that are really easy to explain. So the demand for tee times and really the viability or the popularity of golf really changed after COVID. And the reality is that COVID was for a long time creating an environment where golf was really the only thing you could do. And fortunately for us, for the city of San Mateo, for Poplar Creek Golf Course, we were the beneficiaries of a time when really a lot of people did not benefit. And what ended up happening, in my opinion, this is an opinion now, that we are in an environment in the Bay Area where a lot of people have the option to work remotely or work hybrid. I think a lot of parts of this country, based on data that the National Golf Foundation has shown, plus just my conversations with my other colleagues, is other parts of this country haven't been able to work remotely as much. They've had to go back into the office. Whereas the Bay Area, we just happen to be in an environment where I feel like a lot of people can still work remote. And so we actually have a lot of customers that when I walk out on the tee on a Wednesday or Thursday in the afternoon or in the early morning, it is people that I would say is the working class. And I'm just saying by an age assumption. And so if you're able to work remotely, I'm not here to tell you that you should be in the office and you shouldn't be playing golf, but that's just what I see. And so really what we're seeing is that there's a lot of people that are wanting to play golf. And one of the members of the public spoke on some of the golf courses that have closed. Unfortunately, we have had golf courses that have closed in the area. I can name quite a few. And so just by simple supply and demand, there's just less inventory of tee times available and the demand is up. And so therefore you have a bit of an imbalance. But I believe that the market has somewhat corrected itself. The reason why a lot of these golf courses weren't making money back then is the inventory was too high and the demand was too low. And it's now changed completely.
Good, thank you. That makes a lot of sense. Please indulge one more, just numbers question. There's a renovation bond. Did I read correctly that it's still $675,000 a year that the city will be paying on that bond before it's retired 5 years from now?
That's correct. So I think it was a 30-year bond taken out in 99, so 2029 would be the end. So if you were to take that into account when we look at the money that's being returned to the general fund, we are covering that bond payment and still returning money to the general fund.
That was the last finance question that I had. You're wonderful at anticipating them. I'll finish with a comment. I think that, as you said, or as one of the members of the public said, it's very hard to make everybody happy. And I support your concept for having a trial period with this modification to the VIP program to really go for that balance of focusing on resident availability while maintaining a break-even position. One other thing I'll just toss out as an idea, perhaps the VIP membership could be discounted for San Mateo residents as an alternative concept. And you don't have to respond to that. I'll just lay it out there as a thought. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Witcher. Commissioner Ocampo.
Thank you for the presentation, Kevin. I'm not a golfer personally. I play putt-putt golf more than anything else. But I do have a comment as well as a question for you, Kevin. Let's see. So I guess I can start with just the comment. So the report acknowledges that some current VIP members may no longer see value in membership changes if changes are implemented through the survey. Only 58% say they would remain a member if changes are made. So it does not outline specific strategies to enhance the VIP program to offset the reduced access to prime tee times for VIP members. So I was just curious if we had thought of added benefits. I like the discounted idea for San Mateo residents, but maybe added benefits as well for VIP members.
Sure. Do you want to address that, or did you
Sure.
want? Okay. So I actually have quite a few comments on that. This program really was something that I brought over from my last property. And the way that we did this program on my last property had a whole bunch of added benefits that we do not offer at Poplar Creek for a number of reasons. One of the main benefits at my last property was every VIP member received 2 large buckets of range balls every single day. And a large bucket of balls at Poplar Creek is $14. So if you just do the math, you really pay for your membership in one day. Seems like a great deal. And it was. We had 1,900 members at my last property paying $29.99 a month. And the operational cost to keep up with those range balls being hit every single day was so large that our turf on our driving range went to dirt in about 6 months because of the constant running of the driving range picker to pick up all of those golf balls, the cost of labor to go pick up those balls. So when I came to Poplar Creek, I wanted to modify the program a bit to not have such high operating costs, with the full expectation that, yes, we're probably not going to get 1,900 members at Poplar Creek. And so that's why we kind of scaled it back a bit. The other reason why I didn't want to offer VIP members a discount on the green fee is because our philosophy has always been that the residents should always pay the lowest rate, no matter what. And so even if our VIP member is willing to pay us money for this program, we did not want to offer them the resident rate. Part of the tax-paying benefit of being a City of San Mateo resident is that you are always going to pay the lowest rate with this program.
And I agree with you totally about that. Thank you. That really helps. And just a question regarding if any mechanisms are going to be in place to monitor and address unintended consequences between the VIP members and residents potentially, maybe just frustration among both parties, regarding tee times. Is there anything that we have in place to maybe give feedback or anything really?
Yeah, so similar to our other programs where we run pilot programs, I think we would solicit feedback via email or call in or, walking into the office, and we would record all that feedback and have the comments to come back to the commission to provide their comments and, see if we can modify the program. What I will say is the beauty of our electronic point of sale and T-sheet program really gives us a lot of power to track the behavior of our golfers and to run reports that will literally show whatever type of information that we want to see. And we have the ability to set it up to run custom reports. This point of sale program that we chose in 2020 has really been something that I think a program like this is really a viable option, because not only can we do the automatic reoccurring billing that we're doing with it, but it also gives us information to make changes to the program and talk about it with some real data.
Great.
Any
That
further
helps,
questions?
Kevin. Yes. We're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioner Trapp.
Thank you, Kevin, for your presentation. My apologies to everyone for being a little bit late. And thank you to the public for coming out tonight and giving your comments. I do have a question, Joanna, just to follow up on what you said about the Public Works plan for, as they asked for, like the restaurants and the bathrooms and things like that. Is that schedule, that kind of remodeling, is that documented in public somewhere, or is it, not?
I believe there was an item that went to City Council recently, so we have information on our website. But as soon as we have more information, we will certainly share it. But they're working diligently to get the repairs done as quickly as possible. We have also not been super successful in securing food vendors to come out because it hasn't just been a viable option for their money-making opportunities. So we have been working diligently to secure someone. We've had a couple of food trucks out there and they just haven't seen the return on investment. And some of it has been due to poor weather. So we're hoping that there will be more opportunities when the weather is better, which hopefully is on the horizon here. The other thing that I would like to mention, just because I have my microphone on at this moment, is, the city is facing a $15 million deficit. Having programs like the VIP program to have additional revenue come in offsets us increasing prices for residents and non-residents for our programming. So I would just say that we use a whole lot of different opportunities available to us in order to keep costs low and have these opportunities available to people. And then I would also just say we have also recently brought the CIP list of future 5-year projects that are on the horizon, and the bunkers out at the golf course are also on the list for future improvements, as well as the irrigation infrastructure under the course. So we do know that there are opportunities to make improvements out there, but we have to weigh our expenses as well as be diligent about how we anticipate our revenue as well.
And that goes into my next question about reinvestment into the beautification of it. I know that we recently had the Top Golf open up. Has there been any thought of any partnerships or anything with them to run some type of program or share to generate some type of interest or cross funding or sharing?
So to answer your question directly, no. I will tell you what I think about Top Golf. I think it is awesome. I love the fact that there is a driving range attached to an entertainment and food establishment. Mm-hmm. What I will say is I don't think that it is a competitor to the golf course for serious golfers. But the reason why I like Top Golf, the reason why I think it's great for our industry and our game, is because I truly believe that there are people that go to Top Golf to try it. It's very fun. And our hope as operators is that they enjoy it so much that they actually come to a place like Poplar Creek to actually play real golf. I will tell you that the cost to hit golf balls at Top Golf versus how much it costs to hit golf balls at Poplar Creek is exponentially higher. It's very, very expensive to hit golf balls there. And so our hope is that people go there and they enjoy it and then come to Poplar Creek to actually hit range balls and play the game of golf that we all love.
And that's what I'm asking about, that partnership in the sense that once they're there, having promotion to say, oh, if you want to extend this into 9 or 18 holes, come on
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of my question on that one. And I think everybody else has asked all my other questions. Let me see if I wrote that down anywhere else. Just as far as staying on that kind of marketing part of it, do we have the budget to kind of market to start to kind of offset some of the 22% of people who are going to, not be re-enrolling in those fees? Is there a budget that we have for that?
We do have a marketing budget, yes.
Okay. I think that's it for my questions. Thank you.
Youth Commissioner Jolniker, any questions or comments?
Yes. Thank you, Kevin, for your presentation. Joanne, I wanted to start with you. If this golf pilot goes well, wait, actually, never mind. I answered my own question. Oops. I was just gonna ask if there were plans to like expand if the subscription plan goes well, would there be like plans to expand subscription services to other amenities in the city that you know of?
Yeah, I think we're always looking for feedback from our membership. So we're always open to new ideas. As stated, this is the model that we've come up with to move forward. We may, three opportunities for the VIP members, for the residents, we're hoping hits the mark. But we may get feedback otherwise. So we're trying to be as nimble and diligent as we possibly can in putting together a program. And I think that's really what lies behind doing pilots, right? Because we never know what unintended consequences may stem from what we're trying to roll out. So we're always open to any kind of feedback that we get.
Thank you. And Kevin, I had one question for you. Some of my fellow commissioners answered my previous question, so I'll leave with this. How exactly do you verify if subscription members who like get discounts from how do you verify if they're actually like from San Mateo? How does that process work?
How do we verify whether a customer is a City of San Mateo resident? So all of our customers every calendar year need to come in and provide a photo ID and a utility bill or something that's tied to the property. So a cell phone bill doesn't really work, unfortunately. It needs to be property taxes, water bill, something like that. And then we put them in our system and we tag them as a resident. And our system then will give them the proper discounted rate. And then also when we run reports, it tags them in the appropriate bucket when we run those reports. We also have it set up that these tagging of residents expires on whatever date we choose. So we choose to have it expire usually 2 weeks into the following year to give everybody a grace period, but it automatically cancels their resident status so that when they try to do something that they would normally get as a resident, if they have not renewed with us, they don't get the 8-day reservation. They don't get the proper rate. And so it ensures that people who move are identified as no longer a resident.
All right, thank you. And thank you to the public as well for coming. Yeah. All right, that's it.
Thank you. And so that's on the calendar year, not the fiscal year?
Yes, the resident card is on a calendar year.
Great. Okay, I just have a couple of questions and probably a few comments, and then we'll have some discussion. Okay, so that 58% number that would remain VIPs, that's based on a survey of 20 people, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and does the department feel comfortable with that survey number? It feels kind of low to extrapolate.
Correct. So the reason why that number is so low is we didn't send it out via an electronic communication. So it was done over phone.
Okay.
And so the time that it took to run that survey was very cumbersome. And so I think if we were to solicit additional feedback on this, our means of communicating that survey or soliciting feedback would be a little bit different. So people would have the opportunity to do it without having to physically speak to somebody on the phone.
Okay, good to know. So I want to say I really like the idea of running a sort of a 6-month, I guess, pilot or trial in parallel to the reopening of the restaurant, but also the reopening of the restaurant sounds a little up in the air. So sort of is there a plan B if, we hear from Public Works, we're not sure about the restaurant, or, it looks like it's going to be 2027 or something.
Sure.
Joanne, I just saw you go for your mic.
Yeah, I would just say, I know as per the public comment, there has been an impact to the golfers based on availability of indoor restroom facilities, accessibility to food and beverage. And so we just don't want to add another thing right now that will cause change or potential hardship on people. So we're trying to be cognizant of that and move this forward with timing that would be well received. So it's a challenge. We're super grateful that our rounds are still up and that people are still coming to the golf course despite having these closures that we know are impacting our users. So our thought process was to wait for those reasons.
Okay, well, I'll just again reiterate. I think it's a good idea to sort of think of these in parallel. I hope it all happens sooner rather than later. And I'm curious, what was the revenue we were generating from the restaurant? Because I know it was both a restaurant that was doing food service, but then I went to an event there. I don't know how long ago because what's time, but like there used to be like a kind of banquet sort of events, like Cora had a fundraiser there. I remember going to events there, so that had to have been generating some revenue. And do either of you know what that was?
Yeah, I can tell you that. Are you asking about their gross revenue or our
Like
generated?
what was the city generating from the restaurant?
So we received percentage rent from their gross revenue.
Okay.
And it was somewhere in the 225 to 350-ish thousand, depending on the year. That the current operator did a really, really good job. And so, yes, they paid us a lot of rent.
I mean, I will tell you, I would feel a lot more comfortable in recommending this pilot program, knowing the restaurant was back and operational, knowing that obviously more than covers the difference. As Joanne said, the city is really looking at a significant loss in revenue right now, and it doesn't feel like a responsible move to say we're going to decrease revenue. And at the same time, golf in so many places is an incredibly exclusive activity. If you look at, it's so exclusive, in fact, that if you look on the country club websites, they don't tell you how much it costs. You have to call them. Reddit indicates somewhere between tens of thousands or more dollars to join our local country club. So certainly that's very different than, a few $100s a year for a special program and then, $50 or something for a tee time. Top golf is between $50 and $70 to hit balls for an hour. And that doesn't include the snacks that people are probably buying. So certainly, I really appreciate the ability to make a sport that is, in many places, very exclusive, much more accessible. That being said, I would also just say, even though I know this is not exactly where we are on the topic, I would love to see Public Works really prioritize getting bathrooms available sooner rather than later, even if we get bathrooms, sort of in an early phase, and restrooms, sort of first and foremost, and then the other issues around sort of a working restaurant in phases. Because I hear you. I also don't like to use porta potties. Yeah. All right. With that, I'll just say, really reiterate, let's try to keep this in parallel with the restaurant reopening. And if that's seriously delayed, to really look at what other alternatives are available to us. Any other comments from my fellow commissioners? I'll just remind you all, excuse me, this is an informational item for feedback and input. We are not taking a vote. So if anyone has any additional thoughts they might like to share, sorry, not from the audience. Nope, I'm so sorry. Public comment is over, but I would happily take comments from my fellow commissioners. Seeing none. Oh, excellent.
Municipal golf courses are a wonderful thing. The Muni course that I grew up playing on in Modesto is now a field of weeds and trees. They are disappearing. It's amazing that we have this resource. My biggest concern, just if it wasn't apparent, is it is so easy to go massively upside down on the cost of that kind of facility that we have to be extremely careful. And I'll emphasize Chair Field's comment about concern over let us make haste with Public Works to get this restaurant back open, to get the restrooms open, because you can have a negative spiral of people saying, hey, this isn't a great place to play. Let's find someplace else. And then you get a reputation, a negative reputation that you have to recover from. And then you have fewer rounds. And then we're looking at 400 grand in the hole again before we know it. That's my comment.
Excellent. And I wanted to say two more things, which I saw Chief Barberini earlier today, and he was mentioning that PAL is looking to start up a program, or I believe is starting up a program at the golf course. So that's great. We're always excited about hearing about what our police activities league are doing, and also, as you've alluded to. Bringing in more youth participation in golf. I did notice that there are some senior and youth discounts that are available on within the rates, but there isn't a sort of senior VIP option. Is that something that's been explored? And could it be explored if it hasn't been looked at?
No, we have not explored that, but yes, we could consider that. Absolutely.
Okay. Certainly, I know in previous meetings, we've talked about San Mateo really kind of priding itself in being a city that's, sort of productive and welcoming and a place to healthily age. I know that there's a whole vast array of ranges that golf, but certainly seeing that there are certain pricing discounts for seniors, maybe that's something to also look into.
So I just want to make one comment about
Sure,
the way the program is currently set up and how it can be a little challenging to have all of these different tiers. So our current system, you sign up online, you really do everything from the comfort of your home. And so in order for people to be vetted, whether they're senior or they're of age or if they're resident or whatnot, we would have to significantly change how we sign people up. Right now, there really is not a lot of operational cost to managing this program. And so a lot of the revenue that's coming in really is very profit driven as opposed to high operational costs. And I think I had mentioned that earlier in my comments about my previous location and how the system that we had was very, very high in operating costs.
Excellent. Well, thank you. And thank you to my fellow commissioners and members of the public for contributing this evening. We really appreciate it. And, we look forward to seeing how this all goes. And with that, I will turn to Joanne and ask, do you have any reports or announcements for us?
I have 3 quick ones for you. So just wanted to update everyone that we were able to successfully break ground on our Central Park playground on last month. And so that project is moving forward. And I know several commissioners were able to join the ceremony. So really appreciate seeing you out there and having your support. So we're very excited about this project forthcoming. PAL as well is working to register people for their 5K mental health walk, which is scheduled to be on Saturday, May 31st at Seal Point Park, 9 a.m. And I believe it's $45 to participate. So you can sign up online and hopefully we will see you out there. And then lastly, I try to mention this in the month of May meeting, if I can, about our summer meetings. We normally hold our June and August summer meetings, and we cancel our July meeting due to the holiday that falls very closely to that meeting. So our summer meetings are scheduled to be on June 4th and August 6th. And then the July 2nd meeting would then be canceled. So just wanted to give everybody a heads up for their summer planning. And if you could let me know if you are not able to attend the June or August meeting so we can plan effectively and schedule a special meeting if we need to, or poll anybody to be able to bring items forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. And any announcements from my fellow commissioners? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned. Good night, everybody.